Bank of America is out with its 2025 read on the consumer staples sector, and there are a lot of exciting things going on here. They see strength in categories like energy drinks, salty snacks, spices, proteins, and pet foods, with some of the areas that sold out a little bit this year. They just upgraded General Mills on improving trends in the pet food brand Blue Buffalo. For more on people food, pet food, and milk, and why that could be a deal driver in 2025, let's bring in Peter Galbo. He's the food and beverage analyst at BofA. Peter, it's great to see you again. Real quickly, dispel some myths here. What is going on with pet food? Has that stalled out?
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, good to be with you. So, look, after a difficult 24 and some of the normalization that the pet food industry went through, really just a normalization period relative to COVID, we think things are on the upswing, both from a brand perspective for General Mills, as it's made some pretty meaningful investments into the Blue Buffalo brand. But in addition, we're starting to see kind of some early, nascent signs of a turn in pet food spending. And, we were able to actually do that leveraging the work of my colleague, Curtis Nagel, who covers Chewy. He's starting to see kind of a bottoming in terms of the year-over-year growth rates on pet spend. And so both from a macro perspective on pet food and a brand perspective, we've turned more positive on Blue Buffalo and General Mills.
Well, if you just put out a cryptic tweet about it, maybe Chewy shares would go up like 30% or something. That's very interesting, actually, to keep an eye on. There's a lot of potential moves going on in these portfolio companies next year. I just wanted to rattle off some of them. Kimberly-Clark, obviously exiting that Costco deal. It's only a couple percentage points, but still for making generic diapers or whatever. Lamb Weston, are they going to keep closing plants? What else? There's a lot, Pepsi. Is there going to be a reset for Frito-Lay? Constellation, what's going on with the beer business? I mean, so each of these names, it seems like, is facing a lot of challenges. Where do you see the most opportunity?
Yeah, it seems like every day there's been a headline, right, in terms of what we've coined as the reshapes and resets across consumer staples, and most notably, probably in the packaged food companies, even more so than beverages and household personal care. And again, the idea here is, look, these companies are still struggling from an organic growth perspective. And when organic growth prospects are not that strong, you look to pull other levers to drive value. One of the more notable ones that we've been talking about for quite some time is the potential for Kraft Heinz to reshape, its portfolio through a potential divestiture of Oscar Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
We've written about that in the past. McCormick, we've just went through a very positive analyst day with the company back in October. It's one of the names that we have a top pick on. They have balance sheet capacity to be able to do more bolt-on M&A. So I think this is not too dissimilar from 2015 when you saw a lot of these companies go through kind of strategic reviews of their portfolios. But yeah, it seems like every day there's something new that's coming out.
So let me finish then with what might be one of the most consequential growth areas, which is chocolate milk, or to put it kindly, protein drinks. We know that BellRing has benefited from this. There's Fairlife is owned by Coca-Cola. I didn't realize. So you think that's going to be in the driver's seat next year?
Yeah, what we're seeing, Kelly, is basically the emergence very early of a new category that's really taking kind of the C-stores, the convenience channel, by storm. It's a bit akin to what energy drinks went through in the early 2000s. And what we're seeing is these high protein shakes are starting to really take a lot of shelf space, again, in that immediate consumption channel of C-stores. So, BellRing has its premier protein shake, which we're very positive on, also a top pick within our space. But Coke has really helped to drive the category with Core Power. And what we think happens is that, BellRing will look to kind of make a strategic distribution agreement with one of the other major CSD players in order to kind of penetrate that C-store channel and improve execution. Right now, it's basically only you find Premier Protein Shakes in the pharmacy section, and it needs to be in the cold box next to Core Power to compete against Coke, who's building a brand new factory in Rochester, New York, that should be up here in the next few years. It's going to be dedicated basically to Fairlife product.
Go Rochester. I love it. Who would have thought? And see how you brought that all together, Peter? Thanks so